Hello, my fellow Tosspots. I'm back. That's right, the middle-aged killer of creativity, the grumpiest man around, the #1 bully on the internet, if you believe some of the media out there. That's me, Marcus Beer, Annoyed Gamer, back for Season 2. Did you miss me? Yes, it's been an interesting summer for me. On Invisible Walls a few months ago, I went and called Phil Fish, amongst other things, a hipster, asshole, tosspot, and so on and so forth, because of his comments about Game Informer in particular, wanting to get feedback from him with regards to Microsoft doing yet another 180 on their indie situation. Now, he came after me on Twitter. No problem with that. I called him an asshole. He deserves to come after me. I mean, you know, that's fair enough. It's his right. What I didn't like is the way some sections of the media sprang to Mr. Fish's defense, because I basically did to him what he's been doing to most of the industry for 3 to 4 years now. And yet the media jumped on it and called me the bully. And I've kept quiet. Didn't want to talk about it on Invisible Walls. Why? Because I have my own fucking show. And this is my own fucking show, and things are about to get interesting. So yeah, Phil Fish thing aside, he deserved to come back at me. Got no problem with that. I think it's a shame he's not doing Fez 2, but that's his decision, his life. God bless him. Let's talk about the media. The media who came after me, the media who didn't do their fucking research, who just looked at the phrase Annoyed Gamer. The ones who just looked at the Twitter handle, Annoyed Gamer. Didn't watch any of the fucking shows, obviously, because they compared me to an internet shock jock. They thought that's all I do is bitch and moan and tear down games and be negative about the wonderful, fluffy games industry that we all work in. They obviously didn't watch the episode about depression, or even the last episode of the last season, where I talk about people being careful what you type on the internet because it can put you in jail. You know, they didn't really look at any of that. They didn't look at the bio and all the titles I've launched. They didn't look at the stuff I've done on Invisible Walls over the last 5 years. They basically took a name, made a snap judgment, and basically proved that half of them are not fit to be called journalists at all. Basically, Annoyed Gamer is about one thing, and that's the games consumer, the gamer. That's the guys like you and the girls like you who have issues, who don't have a voice on a lot of these websites, because a lot of these websites have their heads so far up the game developers and publishers' asses. Annoyed Gamer is based on one mantra. Basically, there's a quote in the John Cusack film Grosse Pointe Blank that comes to mind. If I'm at your door, chances are you've done something to bring me there. If there is something wrong with this industry, if somebody does something stupid, I am here to redress the balance. The voice for the little guy, if you will, because let's face it, the majority of the media out there don't give a shit about the little guy. They're too busy kissing up to a lot of different publishers and developers, and they seem to forget one thing. They are there to serve the gamer, the reader, the viewer, the consumer, if you will, not the big boys, not the indie devs, not anybody else. Now, look, there are people out there who came to my defense. And for that, you know, they got it. They saw what I was trying to do, and they got it. Admittedly, I didn't communicate it very, very well. I went off track. I stooped into insults because I lost my temper. I'm not apologizing for that. That shouldn't have got in the way of my points, the points I made. My problem is that when it comes to a media outlet asking him for a comment on something that is a breaking story, not a rumor, he has a conniption. There's a rampant streak of white knightism running through this games industry. The media got it wrong, in my opinion, and of course, I'm a little bit biased. I was actually kind of stunned by some of the responses, although from one in particular, to the member of the journalism community who called me a hackish troll. Coming from you, I consider that a fucking badge of honor, to be honest with you. This is my 2 cents. This is conversation closed. Do I think Phil Fish should come back and do Fez 2? If he wants to. If he wants to be part of this industry. Do I think that Phil Fish needs to calm down a little and maybe step away from social media or hire a PR person or whatever? Probably. Do I think Phil Fish needs to update Fez 1 and finish it and patch it and get rid of the glitches? Definitely, because he's got a fan base who love his game. And I said I've got nothing against his game or the fans of his games. It's not my cup of tea, but I can respect the people out there like it. I think I've worked in this industry long enough to know where I'm coming from. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe there should be a rule. And I'm not talking about you need a journalism degree to write about games. Maybe you should go work in the fucking games industry instead of standing on the sides over and over again. Maybe you should go work at a publisher or a developer for 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, and then come back with that experience. I've got 15 years of that. What the fuck have you got? All right, that's episode 1 of season 2 done and dusted. I won't be touching this topic again. I don't care how many comments, how many stories, how many people come bitching at me again. I'll be back next week with something new to moan about, but something that matters to you, the consumer, you, the games buyer, you, the games player, not what matters to the white knights of the games industry media. See you next week.